this is Emily's desk where she works. But now that school started back up and Emily does all of her schoolwork from home, I think it's time we give her a bit of an upgrade. So to start, I quickly made this base structure out of foam board for Emily's new office. And I also made it so this wall on the left can actually swing open. And I did this by gluing some cardstock on the back wall and the side wall so that it creates a bit of a hinge. I also attached this toothpick to the bottom corner so it can just poke into the floor and hold in place. Okay, so from here, the first thing I want to do is cut out a big window over on that wall. That was supposed to be a lot more satisfying. Okay. Then I printed off some wallpaper and flooring for the room, and I glue it in place. So I made this back wall pink, these side walls gray, and used my favorite flooring. But I will say I'm definitely not loving how that back wall is kind of bubbled up in some spots. Sometimes this happens, but usually it'll just go away on its own. However, it has been overnight now, and these are still here, so I don't think they're going away. But luckily, this back wall will be really busy with a whole bunch of stuff going on, so hopefully you won't really notice all of that, including all of these lines on the walls as well. The next thing I want to do is work some more on this window. Also, please ignore how busted up my hand looks with all of these cuts and everything going on. It's not really look, but I can't really do anything about it. My nails, on the other hand, though, I cut out clear plastic from some Barbie doll packaging. And then I'm gonna glue it on the other side of the wall behind the window. Then I glue foam board strips around the window. And on the other side of the window as well. Now I want to build a shelving unit to go along that back wall. And of course, I'm gonna do so using foam board. So as you can see, I've just been making these little cube shelves, but for the rest of the shelving unit, I'm actually gonna do something a bit different. And I'm gonna glue a big piece right here, and then glue on this last end, then glue on the top piece. Here's how it's looking so far, and in the process of gluing on this top piece, I burnt myself really badly with a hot glue gun. I'm pretty good when it comes to hot glue gun burns. I get burnt all the time, but this one's really bad, and you can already see it starting to blister, and I'm sure it'll just get worse and worse throughout this video, so we can watch that happen together. Yay. No, but it literally hurts so bad. Anyways, I have these 3 wood rectangles that I cut out, and I'm gonna glue them on this big piece over here. And then I'm gonna glue it in place. These wooden pieces are acting as fake little drawers. Then I have this L-shaped piece of foam board that's going to be the desk for the room. And then I have these skinny strips of wood that I'm gonna glue to all the edges of the foam board that will be exposed. I glue on some legs on the end, and then I glue a piece between them. And then I'm gonna glue the desk in place. Also, hot glue gun burn update. I don't really think it's getting worse, but it's also definitely not getting better. Love to see it. Now I just have some long strips of foam board that I'm gonna glue into the room for baseboards. Now for the window, at first I was thinking I could put in some like pink curtains that would like drape down. I even bought this massive roll of dusty pink tulle that I also thought would be good for an option, but I quickly decided that that would probably be way too much for this small office space. Plus it's an office and I feel like the tulle would definitely be out of place. And again, I feel like draping curtains would just be a lot for this space as well. So instead, I cut out this piece of paperboard that will fit into the window, and I'm gonna wrap it up in this pink fabric that will match the room perfectly. Then I have a wooden dowel that's the same length that I'm also going to wrap in the same fabric. Glue it to the top of our other piece, and then I glue it into the top of the window to make roller blinds for the room that don't actually work, but they do look good. Here's this adorable foldy chair that I got off either Etsy or AliExpress, potentially Amazon actually. I couldn't tell you, but it's really cute and I think it'll be a perfect office chair. It's a bit of a tight squeeze with the desk and the shelf, but there we go. I also cut out 3 more strips of foam board and put that same wood trimming around the exposed edges, and I'm gonna glue them over against this wall for some shelves. Oops, I took the chair out and forgot to put it back. Just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so I printed out a whole bunch of random printables. Some of these I just got offline. Some of these I got from a YouTuber called Poppy Seed Mini. And I'm gonna put some of these to use. So there's this bulletin board that I printed out, and it does already have a wooden frame, but I'm still gonna glue on my own little strips of wood to frame it, just to make the frame pop out and look more realistic. And then I'm gonna glue it over on this wall. I made a bunch of things using those printables, most of which I'm going to take away for now and we'll bring back later when we do the little bits of decorating. But I will keep the sewing machine around, and I'm actually going to put it in this back corner over here. Now to make something for the back wall, I'm going to cut out a piece of clear plastic. I'm going to draw some lines on it with a Sharpie. Then I'm going to write the first letter of each day of the week. Well, every weekday, not the weekends. Then with my hot glue gun on the other side, I'm going to put a dot in each corner. Then back to the front side, I'm going to do the exact same thing and just try to go right over the dot on the other side. And then I carefully paint the dots on the front silver. And then I'm going to glue it to the back wall, and when I glue it, I'm going to make sure to put the hot glue over top of the little dots that we already made so that you won't be able to tell that there's any glue on there. I also printed out this world map, which I just think will be so cool in the room, but before I put it in place, I'm going to glue more wooden strips around to frame it. And then I'm going to glue it in place on the wall. Okay, now this next thing is about to be so random, but I want to make a little sign over here because there's going to be a little coffee station. So I pulled out my 3D.
I tried to draw anime art, but I just can't. Maybe the drawing lessons in Drawing Desk will help.
Pen. I have not touched this thing for like at least 2 years. Probably closer to like 4. But I do think it'll actually be the perfect tool to make a little sign. Plus, I just want an excuse to use this thing because I recently remembered that it existed and I feel like it'd be kind of fun to put it to use. So I put in some black filament into the pen, and using a piece of wood just for a base to draw on, I'm going to draw out a sign. Let's give this a go. It's been a while, so I'm not expecting to nail this the first try. Okay, this is kind of backfiring. This is not working out. Okay, we're gonna not talk about that. It could use some work, but it's not half bad, especially for my first try. Oh, we're gonna not talk about that. I'm gonna try this a couple more times until I'm happy with it though. Okay, that one was actually really good. I think I'm gonna also put the word bar underneath so it says coffee bar. Hopefully, oh, okay girl, calm down. Hopefully this doesn't ruin it because I really like how this one looks so far. And it really barely sticks to the wood, so it can just literally come right off. And then I'm just gonna glue it over here beside the map. And I actually love how that turned out. I honestly forgot how great this thing is, and let me know if you guys want to see me use it more, or maybe I could even make a whole video dedicated to making some 3D pen things, because I actually forgot how fun this thing was, and hopefully it doesn't just get put back in a box for another 3 years. But no promises. Then I have this little clock face that I printed out, and I'm gonna trace around on some clear plastic and cut it out. Then I'm gonna glue a strip of black cardstock around it, and then I'm gonna glue the clock piece behind. And I really like the effect that that gives, so I'm gonna glue this right above our coffee sign. And now I wanna actually set up our little coffee bar area. So I bought this adorable coffee maker off of Etsy. Look how adorable this thing is. Oh my gosh. I won't lie, the price was a little bit ridiculous, at least with including shipping, but I'm still not gonna complain. The little coffee pot opens up. Oh, what the? Is that broken? Please don't tell me something's broken already. No. Oh my gosh, stop. Stop it right now. Okay, so this little thing broke, and I don't think that's supposed to be like that, so I'm just gonna quickly glue that back in place, but we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Anyways, this thing is adorable, and it's in Dusty Pink, which means it's even more amazing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place it in the corner over here. Then I'm gonna place in this little jar of sugar that I made a while back for my bakery. I just have this empty little jar, and I cut toothpicks and place them inside for little stir sticks. I have this little matching plate and teacup set. Although the flowers are cute, I don't really want them to be seen in the room though. So the one on the plate will be covered up by the cup, and I'm just gonna turn the cup so that the flower will face against the wall. Then to make little napkins, I just cut little squares out of a real napkin, and I'm just gonna place those next to everything with a little croissant on top as well for our little coffee bar setup. Now to work a bit more on this side of the room, I cover a piece of cardstock in the same pink fabric that we used over on the window, and then place it on the desk, along with this little Apple desktop computer that I think is actually so cute, and I made it look like they're looking at my YouTube channel, which I thought was a fun little idea. And I'm gonna put that right on top of the mat, along with a little keyboard and mouse to go with it. Then I made the most adorable little printer ever. I actually love how this turned out. And I do apologize that lots of the things I'm placing into the room are things I already have pre-made or made off of camera, so you guys aren't really getting a tutorial for it. But if there is anything in particular that you guys want a tutorial for, let me know. But lots of this stuff I've had for a long time as well and just have been waiting to get a use for. Anyways, I'm gonna place this beautiful little printer right below the bulletin board over here. And then I can put in a little piece of paper as well to make it look like it's printing off something. This is just a little math formula sheet. I printed out this little cutting mat that looks literally exactly like the one I have, and I just love this pink color. I'm gonna place it right in front of the chair. Then I'm gonna place in some of those items that I made earlier, including this adorable little X-Acto knife. Look how amazing this is. This little ruler, hot glue gun, mini glue stick, a little graphing calculator. And again, so many of these things I literally just find online. Like for this, I just searched up graphing calculator, shrinked it down to size, glued it onto some layers of cardstock, painted the edges, and that was literally it. This other little cutter, I have this little square of like mirror, and I like to use these little pieces as coasters. And then I'm gonna place a water bottle on top. I know water bottles really don't need a coaster, but I really wanted to use it. There's this little Mod Podge. I'm gonna place Emily's phone over here because I'm sure if she's working in the office, she'll have it close by. I'm gonna put some little pieces of cardstock onto the mat to make it look like she was actually cutting something up or working on something. I really don't want to clutter up the space too much, but I think instead of this little cutter here, I actually have this little toolbox full with all sorts of tools that I got a long time ago from Michaels, and I do in fact actually have a video on my channel. It's like one of my first videos, so you can go watch it. I won't stop you, but I will warn you because that Ava was a different Ava, okay? Anyways, one of the tools in here is actually this little pair of scissors. Like, you gotta be kidding me, come on. And I think that would look better over here. And the rest of the tools, I think I'm just gonna place on one of the shelves over here. And again, I don't wanna do too much over here, but I think the last thing I'm gonna do is just place a little pencil. So this can kind of be her little craft station for when she wants to work on something. I have these 3 little designer brand magazines, which are actually printables that I got off of Etsy. And I did steal these from my designer doll room, which is still currently in its Barbie doll room form. I have not touched that room since. So I think in the meantime, these will look really good in here, just on this back shelf. Maybe it doesn't necessarily match the office vibe, but I like it. Then I also have this little martial arts trophy, which actually came with Emily because she was the martial arts Barbie doll. And I just think it's kind of cool to have a little piece of that in this office. So I'm gonna put that right next to those magazines. And then these little Beats headphones that I made a long time ago. Oh. I'm also realizing that I have the Louis Vuitton and Dior magazines upside down. Nice. I'm gonna glue little papers onto the bulletin board. I absolutely love this little periodic table. And then I also have this little photo of Chase and Emily, which I think will be really cute on the bulletin board as well. Now let's fill up these shelves over here. I have this old thimble. You can tell it's old. It's kind of like rusting. It looks a little nasty, but I kind of like the rustic look. And I just have a whole bunch of pencils inside. I'm just gonna place that on the shelf over here. And I'm literally just gonna place a bunch of random things on here. Okay, now this is something I might regret and I have debated doing, but I think I'm gonna take this Mini Brands Rubik's Cube out from its packaging. I know the packaging is adorable and maybe I can even get it back in there if I ever want to, but where's my scissors? But for the sake of decorating this room, we're gonna open this up. Okay. Oh. Okay, that actually wasn't bad at all. I think I could easily get it back in the packaging if I want to. Not me expecting it to actually work, but either way, it's super cute and I think it'll look great over on the shelf. I'm thinking we should probably add some sort of greenery to this space. I have some little pieces of wood that I'm gonna glue together. And then I slide that into one of the shelves and fill it with tiny pieces of paper. Make a little paper organizer for on the shelf. And then I'm also just gonna fill with some random things, like this little container that I literally used to keep my baby teeth in. But we're just gonna pretend we don't know that, even though I literally just told everyone. I have these little like fake envelope letters that I made such a long time ago and it kind of shows, but I'm too lazy to make new ones, so we're gonna use them. Here are these 3 little notebooks that I've had for so long, and I actually used to sell these on my Etsy shop, and I think they'd go perfectly in the room. But first, on one of them, I'm going to write notes. This is really difficult doing this in the air. I should probably not have done this, but that's not too bad. And I'm gonna place those on a shelf. I fold some cardstock to form a box, and I'm gonna glue it together. And then I'm gonna cover it in that same pink fabric that we've been using. And then I'm gonna slide it into the shelf. It's a tight squeeze. This is never getting taken out, ever. Again. And I made a second one as well. This one fits in a lot nicer. I then made this blue recycling bin, and I'm just gonna scooch it under the table over in this corner. And you best believe after crafting this room, I have some scrap pieces of paper that I'm gonna put into the little recycling bin. So technically, I'm recycling my little scrap pieces of paper to put into my doll's recycling bin so that they can recycle the paper. I don't know if that makes sense, but I like it. I'm gonna push this back into the corner. Now, I do have a little garbage can coming that I ordered on Etsy, but in the meantime, oops, I stole this one from Chase's room, and I'm just gonna put it right next to the recycle bin. Okay, now I'm very excited about this. I have a whole bunch of Amazon packages that were sent to me by an Etsy shop called Catchy Charisma Miniatures, and these are gonna be great for this space. So I'm gonna pile some over in this corner, and then put a couple more over on this last shelf. And I feel like the little Amazon boxes are so realistic because these things cover my room. I have this little adorable purse here that I got from an Etsy shop called Huang Handmade Doll that I reviewed in my last video, actually. And first of all, this is like my favorite purse ever now. And I thought it looked kind of cute just slinged over the chair here. Like, I know we're not capturing its full beauty this way, but I still just wanted to put it in the room. I feel like the space needs more greenery, so I actually stole the little plant that I put up on the shelf over there, and I'm gonna put it on top of the magazines over here instead. Yeah, I like that. And then I just put a different plant over there. Then I cut out some of the smallest pieces of paper just in some fun colors to look like little sticky notes, and I wrote some random things on there. And I'm gonna glue them to some of the spots on this board back here. And oh my gosh, I just think that looks so cute and so much better with those little sticky notes on there. And guys, I think we are done with this room. The only other main thing that I would add is some of my wooden letters above the map over here. Except I have no idea what I should spell out. Let me know what you guys think, or if I should even put anything up there in general. I could put Emily's name, but I'm interested to hear if you guys have any other good ideas for what would be good for this office. Now, I know I say this a lot after I make new rooms, but I think this one might be my new favorite. Like, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Let's also not forget that this wall over here can open up to kind of let more light into the space, and also will help me film from different angles. For example, if that wall was still here, we wouldn't be able to get this nice angle of the room. And I think I'm gonna start doing this on more of my doll room because it's really cool to feel like you're more in the room with the dolls. And again, there's so much more light being put into the room with this angle as well. Now, this is Emily's office after all, so let's go get her. Here she is, and I definitely think she fits right into the space. Let's put her in the chair and see how it really looks with her fully embracing the office. And here she is sitting down at her desk. I love how she looks in the space. And I really like how she kind of has 2 stations. She can kind of have her craft station here, or where she wants to kind of lay out some papers to do stuff. And if we just flip her around, oops, that was her purse. I knew this was not going to be convenient. She can work on her computer. So overall, I really do love how this office turned out, and now Emily has a spot where she can do all of her work, plus a ton more. Definitely let me know what you guys think and what your favorite part of the room is. And let me know what we should build for Emily next. I really hope you enjoyed today's video.